geared towards providing you with information on the government's policies and initiatives for building a better Jamaica. You may visit our website, jis.gov.jm, to rewatch this show or catch up on the others we have on the site. I'm Theodore Henry, thanking you for watching on behalf of our production team here at the JIS.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Popeyes Challenge Cup, powered by Popeyes, Lasco, Connex, Best Dressed Chicken, Red Stripe, Mackay Security.
Jamaica's newest football competition comes alive here in St. Anne. We're at the Drax Hall Sports Complex to witness the big boys enter the fray. We have a Premier League team making their debut in this year's Popeyes Challenge Cup for 2026. You do not want to miss this. What's at stake, you might ask? Just look to my left. This trophy in all its shimmering glamour and glory, the Popeyes Cup, the Popeyes Challenge Cup is here. And we have a mouth-watering fixture here, courtesy of the Popeyes Challenge Cup, and it features Montego Bay United taking on Meadforest. Meadforest, they've won their last 2 games to get here, but now it's time to dance with the big boys. Montego Bay is here, and we're going to witness it here on CVMTV. I had a chance to speak with both coaches, Coach Sims of Meadforest and Coach Gilbert of Montego Bay.
Well, we expect that from the players. A game like this, we're under no pressure. We're playing against the 4th place team in the Premier League. What pressure we can be under. I told the boys them to go out there and enjoy themselves. Give off their best, and their best will bear fruit for us.
Yeah, you won the last 2 games to get to this round. How important is it that you take that momentum into a game like this against Premier League opposition?
Well, it's very important. The first 2 games, we have to live for a game and notch up. To play against a Premier League team. It's always expected that when teams are playing greater opponents and rise to the occasion. So I expect them to come out here and show a good show of themselves.
You represented Meadforest as a player, now you're the coach. What would it mean to knock off a Montego Bay United as head coach of your former team?
Well, as I said to the team, everybody expects Meadforest to lose. What they don't expect is Meadforest to win. As a coach, these are the games that we coach. We love to coach. When they have you as an underdog, we love to be the David, slow the Goliath. So it's all joy for us today.
All the best, coach. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Once it's football and getting the players together, playing and enjoying what all of us love to do, it's fantastic.
Yeah, you were brought to Mobe to obviously bring titles. The Popeyes Challenge Cup offers you an opportunity to do so. Are the boys up for it today?
I hope so. So far, things has been good. And we just want to come out and give a good account of ourselves. I thought we were disappointing in the last couple of games we play, and they want to prove themselves again here today.
Yeah, 4th place finish in the Premier League, coach. But you take on Meadforest here today. How much do you know about them, and what can you prepare for?
To be honest, not much as it relates to tactically, but we are cognizant of their progress and what they have been doing over the last couple of seasons, knocking on the door, vying for a spot to come to the Premier League. And they've always done well, so we don't expect an easy challenge. We know it's going to be tough, and hopefully we can conquer them today.
All the best, coach.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
All to play for, according to Coach Sims. They have no pressure coming into this one, but they go up against the Giants, Montego Bay United, who had a 4th place finish in the Ray and Nephew Jamaica Premier League this season. They have a chance to win silverware for their troubles. Of course, Coach Gilbert was supposed to deliver silverware for Montego Bay this year, but we're going to stand by because Dwight Jeremiah and Jordan Fort, they're on commentary. Up to you, gents.
Alrighty, Kimani O'Sullivan getting the ball rolling here at the Drax Hall Sports Complex. It is round 3 of the Popeyes Challenge Cup, and we have a tasty double header coming up for you right here on CVM TV at 5:30. The first match of that double header, of course, Meadforest versus Montego Bay United. Bay United still reeling from not being able to win the Jamaica Premier League, and indeed ending up finishing 4th as the Jamaica Premier League season culminated on Sunday at the National Stadium. Meadforest have taken a couple of scalps so far in the Popeyes Challenge Cup. This, though, their first true David versus Goliath contest. And this one was Meadforest versus Humble Lion. Last time out at St. Elizabeth Technical High School. And a player we expect to be seeing more from for Meadforest, Jeffrey Robinson, their leading goal scorer so far in the Popeyes Challenge Cup, helping them to get to this stage. And this was Humble Lion's response in this contest at Stets last week. And Humble Lion had given Meadforest something to think about temporarily, as Humble Lion there got themselves back on level pegging temporarily, but a defensive mistake, and the ball just like that directed or diverted outside of the path of the goalkeeper, and as such Meadforest benefiting and Humble Lion crashing out. And Jeffrey Robinson again, the Meadforest man. So that was them last time out, and now they will face a much tougher test in Montego Bay United, the Jamaica Premier League powerhouse. We're going to be giving you the starting lineups in a short while. And of course, by the way, this particular round in the Popeyes Challenge Cup started yesterday. Going to be giving you the scores of the matches yesterday as well. Okay, well, here are the highlights from Arnett Gardens versus Soccer Club Brownstown. Arnett Gardens winning that one by 3-1. So these are the highlights. Arnett comfortable in this particular contest. Roaring River, I guess it's fair to say, out of their depth in this particular match. Arnett Gardens getting goals from Giovanni Taylor in the 2nd minute, and the 43rd minute was a brace from Giovanni Taylor. As we look back at the goals here, and that one again, you see the hands being thrown in the air from the Roaring River team. The game really being bossed by Arnett, and the talent of Giovanni Taylor really shining through for Arnett Gardens. And we can see here where this ball was a rebound. The Roaring River team all but stopped playing, and it was Giovanni Taylor with a double. 2 minutes is when it took him to score his first goal, and then the 43rd minute his second, and Deshaun Henry scoring the third for Arnett Gardens in minute 85. It was Courtney Williams who got the lone goal. Turned out to be a consolation for Roaring River. So that was just one of the 3 games played yesterday, and the other games were Phoenix Chappleton beating Reno 3-1, and Malines United taking a 2-1 win over Soccer Club Brownstown. There's a look at the Meadforest team. You see the Jeffrey Robinson there, leading goal scorer for them in this Popeyes Challenge Cup, scoring a double last time out to defeat Humble Lion, knock them out at Stets. And this now is a look at the Montego Bay United team. The team playing the role of Goliath in this particular contest. Just about 6 minutes to go until kickoff. And we're going to be giving you the starting lineups. You heard the thoughts of Lich Sims when Kimani spoke with him. Not daunted, not afraid of going up against Montego Bay United. So the stage is set for a blockbuster clash indeed. I know this is exciting stuff because this is what this tournament promised. The tournament promised to put the big teams against the, I want to say so-called minnows. I don't use that term in a pejorative way, by the way. But the top tier teams against the second tier teams. And the second tier teams really with something to prove. This is round 3. The draw you saw taking place live on Sunrise last week, immediately after the second round. The draw after this round will take place tomorrow morning on Sunrise. And we will get to see who will face who. Alright, so starting lineups for Meadforest. It's going to be Damian Hyatt, Andre Brown, Dario Dakers, O'Neal Morrison, Siobhan Warren, DeAndre Walker, Mario Ferguson, Justin Powell, Jermaine Morgan, Jeffrey Robinson, and Rashane Dallas. As I look at Montego Bay United, their starting lineup in goal is Marco Thompson, and then there's Timar Lewis, Malachi Sterling, Leonard Rankin, Devereaux McKenzie, Orland Harling, Nashardo Gibbs, Tajay Cooper, DeAndre Brown, Brian Brown, and Kimani Arboin. Both teams now taking to the field with sponsors. Are going to be forming part of the greeting party.
So right now, meeting the players, ladies and gentlemen, are the ambassadors of the sponsors. The ambassador for Lasco Food, Saskia Jones. Ambassador for Lasco iCool Water, Rashid Farron. Ambassador, ICT engineer for Connex, Tisha Richards. Relationship manager at Best Dress Chicken, Andrew Allen. And ambassador for Red Stripes, Shalika Samuels.
So of course Lasco and iCool, as well as Red Stripe, Best Dressed, Connex, all represented in the greeting party. And of course our title sponsors are Popeyes, always cooking up something tasty for us. And the formalities now being completed. As the teams greet each other. And of course, so for both contests, myself and Coach Dwight Jeremiah will be taking you through this doubleheader. You may have noticed, started a little bit later for this particular doubleheader. Kickoff 5:30. And the second match kicks off, was slated to kick off at 8. Of course, we do know that these matches are play to finish matches. So it's going to be dependent on what time this particular game ends, given that this could go to penalties if there is a deadlock at the end of full time. So both teams completing the obligatory photos. Here we are again, a reminder of the starting lineup. So for Meadforest, Damian Hyatt in goal, Andre Brown, Dario Dakers, O'Neal Morrison, Siobhan Warren, Fabiki Farquharson, Mauro Ferguson, Justin Powell, Jermaine Morgan, Jeffrey Robinson, and Rashane Dallas. You see 6 substitutes on the bench there: Dante Lindsay, Tyler Rust, Malik Doman, Kemar Thompson, Kemoy Miller, and Kashia Morgan. This is Montego Bay United now. Here we are for Mobay. Their starting lineup in goal is Marco Thompson, and you've got Timar Lewis, Malachi Sterling, Leonard Rankin, Devereaux McKenzie, Odorland Harding, Nashardo Gibbs, Tajay Cooper, DeAndre Brown, Brian Brown, Kimani Arboin. On the substitutes bench, they've got Khalid Fraser, Christopher Allen, Carlisle Joshua, Richardo Ramsey, Carlando Delondo, Kevin Hawthorne, and Javon Anglin. Right, so it is 5:30. So going to be just a couple of minutes late from 4 kickoff. It was slated for 5:30. As the clubs take their photos, I did tell you I would keep you up to speed with what's going on elsewhere around the Popeyes Challenge Cup. And I can tell you that in a surprise update from the Stadium East field between Cavalier and Jamaica Defence Force FC, it's JDF who's actually taking the lead in that contest. JDF lead by 1-0 after 68 minutes, so that's very, very interesting. Cavalier still smarting from their defeat in the final of the Jamaica Premier League, now trailing Jamaica Defence Force FC, could be heading out of the Popeyes Challenge Cup in their first match. So let us see how that plays out. Coach Dwight Jeremiah is looking on and always has a keen eye and some great insights on what we can expect.
Yeah, it would be more than just a smarting. If they were to lose that game, Cavaliers would be a big one for them. You feel every team wants to have silverware every season they play, so that would be a big miss for them. We see Meadforest here, also a team too that would have toppled a team that has made it back to the Premier League. Montego Bay United, you know, losing out in the third place playoff just recently as well, so would miss out also on Caribbean football, and as such would definitely want to make amends here. And words coming out, Coach Gilbert will want to start next season pretty early using this cup.
And let's see if they'll start this match early. A cross is coming in now, and this one is being chased down by DeAndre Brown. Cross there coming in from Malachi Sterling. Brown though didn't win the race, and there's a player down on this near side.
Yeah, as I was saying, you know, as we see Coach Gilbert on the sideline, he's having a word with a player that would have really paraded this pitch a lot while he was at Mount Pleasant. But Coach Gilbert is, you know, would have been disappointed with the season, not really coming third as well to get Caribbean football. But still, he was asked the question after the game, that whether or not he will be the coach, as we see Meadforest coach on the screen. But yeah, he was asked if he was going to be the coach, and he said, well, he knows it's a result-oriented job, but recently the announcement came that he will be left to continue his work, the work that he started this season into next season. So the trust has been shown in him by the board at Montego Bay United. So he would want to show that the season to come will be a good one, using this cup as the blueprint.
As this one is comes across, so just too much on it there. That cross coming in from Devereaux McKenzie. There's the aforementioned Xavier Gilbert. Coach Jeremiah, as you said, entrusted with another season at least at Montego Bay United, having made the move from Arnett Gardens. Coach Xavier Gilbert. So from one city to the next, from Kingston City to the city of Montego Bay, Coach Gilbert. And all in all, you must say, a good season for Montego Bay United. It's a long Jamaica Premier League season, and they sat right at the pinnacle for the majority of it. And yes, they did fall short in the playoff phase, and of course missed out on a spot in the final, and then had the third place playoff and lost out there as this ball is played down the right wing and touched around the defender. But the ball just gets away from Nashardo Gibbs there on the right hand side. Another little glimpse for Montego Bay United. And they made a quick start to this contest.
Yeah, certainly they want to be the aggressor with this one. want to be the team that, show their pedigree as the Premier League team. But as I said before, this team that they're up against did down Umberland, who has made it back to the Premier League. So you could say that they're a giant killer. And this would be a bigger giant for them if they were to get the scalp of Montego Bay United. And as you rightfully said, certainly a team with pedigree. Montego Bay United would have been at the pinnacle of the league for a long period, as we see Tajay Cooper on the ball just passing there, a player I worked with at William Nib at the Costa Cup level. Had an outstanding season.
Former Bay United tried to get the ball in the box. They've looked to do that. They've had quite a bit of joy on that right-hand side so far, but still not able to deliver a good final product as Meadforest win it back. Oh, that's an arm across the face there, and the referee spotted it. Referee O'Brien Warren just keeping a close eye on things. His assistants are Ajay Duhaney and Joshua Jackson. The fourth official is Andre Farquharson. Switch of play here for Montego Bay United.
And just on that infringement, you could hear the shout from the Meadforest bench to say, don't get in on the nerves of the referee.
So on is a ball played first time into the box over there on the left hand side. That's Malachi Sterling. He'll take the throw quickly. It's into the box again. And player bundled over.
Yeah, not a bad position for Montego Bay United to try and serve something in. But I was saying that you could hear from the Meadforest bench just telling the player just leave the referee alone. I think they're remembering too, I think in their last game, I think they saw a red card as well. So, it's a difficult job here, so they wouldn't want to make it even more difficult for themselves to go down a player. But this is an interesting thing for Montego Bay. Very dangerous position. If the service is right, this could spell trouble for Meadforest.
Timar Lewis looks like standing over the ball. Former Bay United serves this one in, and nobody home.
Looks like he was going for goal, not giving the cadre of players that were in the box a chance at it. I think Montego Bay had committed some 7 players. Really selfish of him to really go at it, but had he nestled it in the top corner, I guess we'd say genius.
Yeah, it was Nasharda Gibbs, in fact, who took that free kick for Mabay. And just giving coach Xavier Gilbert reason to get up off the bench and go to the edge of his technical area just to shout some instructions at his team. You can see him there to the bottom of the picture.
Yeah, he certainly will want this one, because it wouldn't be a good thing for him. I wouldn't feel so good about it, the fact that he was renewed in terms of his contract, and then to lose to a team in the second tier of Jamaica's football.
Rankin trying to work an angle, and now it comes to... the flag was up on the far side anyway, as the ball came through there. I think DeAndre Brown might well have known that he just snuck into an offside position.
See Montego Bay using the width a lot, because Meadforest, they're going to try and make it difficult to go through the middle, stay as compact and as narrow as possible. If they're anything like the traffic I came through to get here, but difficult to get through from the Priory area coming this way. It is just like a walking pace. If I had somewhere to park, I think I would have just done so. And
Brian Brown jostling for possession there. Try to get just a glimpse of the goal. We know how dangerous Brian Brown can be, but at that time, committing a foul. So Meadforest, most of the play has taken place in their half of the field. And right now they're in their own half trying to get out. Mabay applying the pressure. And calm in possession there, Meadforest, and they've playing through the press. And now they've come forward here. It's gonna come out to another Meadforest player. This is DeAndre Walker, their number 10 on it. Passes the ball up, and have been dangerous, but Mobay win it back. And now they play it forward. Lots of space, lots of players bombing forward for Mobay. Brian Brown is picked out. Brown, and the ball comes across and it's a miss kick. Still danger. Eventually cleared by Meadforest. But that miss kick from DeAndre Brown. And probably just sparing the blushes of Meadforest. Something should have resulted from that, though, you would think, for Montego Bay
It's
United.
certainly the best opportunity they've gotten, the best looking they've got. Good counter-attack in play, good in transition here. Meadforest, they'd committed a lot and really look good. Meadforest, I was about to say I love the confidence of them, but just not the confidence to shoot. But just look at the cutback here too. I just said Brown looked at the goal just at the point where he was to make contact with the ball. And we always say to strikers, I mean, the goal doesn't move, the ball is moving, so you need to keep your eyes on it and just shape yourself, open that hip and just sweep that one in. So that was a big chance for Montego Bay to take the lead here on the back of Meadforest, looking dangerous going forward. I just think they just need to sort themselves out, Meadforest, going forward. Just the decision making when they attack. In the end, it pretty much was thwarted by themselves because it was almost two players getting in each other's way, which resulted in them not even getting a shot off from a very promising move and a promising position.
I think Coach Gilbert just will be having some reason now to shout some instructions at his players, because that's one of the little areas where they can be attacked here, Mobay United, because of course they're committing numbers forward. Meadforest on that previous possession really did get forward, Coach Jeremiah, and created one or two little scares for Mobay in that particular attack. Didn't come to anything, but I think just a little warning sign for Mobay if they do overcommit, that there can be an issue for them.
Yeah, and there goes Cora Robinson, number 15 here, who had a brace the last time out. He's frustrated because, and I would too if I were him, because they're getting into promising position. He's making the run. What I'd say to him though, let not the frustration boil over to the point where he stops making the run. Just have to make his teammates aware of the fact that he's making the runs. Here's again, this time he went inside, and that's what tends to happen because he has been making the runs outside, not getting it.
Run chipped forward to DeAndre Walker, but then a high boot on the number 10 from Meadforest, Walker, as he tried to bring that one under his spell. Malachi Sterling gets play back on the way for Montego Bay United. And that ball was searching for Nashardo Gibbs on the right side. Well, the deflection takes it out of play, and Mobay United get the throw in. Here comes the throw in. It's Timar Lewis for Mobay in possession. Pass it back. Ball goes into touch again. Still possession to Montego Bay United. 12th minute of play here between Meadforest FC and Montego Bay United. In this, the third round of the Popeyes Challenge Cup, still locked at 0-0. Jordan Fort and Coach Dwight Jeremiah taking you through. So there's an early ball coming across. The keeper has to keep his eye on it. And at one stage, he looked comfortable, and then another stage, like he could have had a hairy moment there, Damien Hyatt in goal for Meadforest.
Yeah, it was a tricky moment for him, and I think he did the right thing, because I don't think he was going to drop in it, but could hit on the crossbar and then back into play, and could be dangerous for him. So I think he did the right thing.
Yeah, experienced goalkeeper Damien Hyatt.
Certainly is.
Just tip that one over the bar. This one comes back, and I think pretty good defending from Meadforest. They tried to restart the play quickly. Arboin spotted it, intercepted, and swung a big boot through it. And you may be able to hear through our effects mic Coach Lich Sims shouting instructions. Here's Montego United on the attack again. That's trying to stand this one up. Into that corridor of uncertainty. Brian Brown trying to play it across goal, but not getting the angles right. And a goal kick to Meadforest. This is Meadforest. Ball bouncing around in the middle of the field. The referee says play on. Oh, there's an arm, another flailing arm. And then a flailing arm at the referee. Not going to be happy about that. Mauro Ferguson of Meadforest is going to get a stern talking to by the referee. And then Andre Brown comes across.
Well, quite lucky too, Jordan, that he could have gotten a red card for just the waving arm at the referee. Yeah, you're not allowed to swing the arm. I mean, you can hold it out, but did have movement towards the player's face, and that was a right call. And the referee was kind to him as well, not to brandish that yellow card. And they have to show more discipline as well. And I think that's what the coach was trying to say, Sims, as well. Not to come into another game. This would be quite difficult. This is not Umberland. All due respect to them. This is a team that just finished 4th in the Jamaica Premier League, having sat at the top of the table for a very long period. That many argue that maybe there needs to be a change in the format, still have the final, but something for the league winners at times, despite they were taken over by Mount Pleasant, who also didn't win the league. But the point I'm making is that difficult opposition they're up against, they would want to ensure that they don't put themselves at a disadvantage in the area of a number of players that they have to deploy on the pitch.
Yeah, certainly coming in as the underdog, you don't want to get reduced to 10 players and to go up against this Montego United team. Meadforest, as we said, having won their first 2 games, feeling good about life. We did visit Meadforest training yesterday. Kimani O'Sullivan was out there in Queensborough and vibes was high. Coach Lich Sims says they're not afraid of the Montego United team. Here's a good little interplay between Brian Brown and Timar Lewis. And Meadforest win it back, and the ball played forward to DeAndre Walker. Trying to find Jeffrey Robinson, and the flag goes up here on this near side. And he's been flagged for offside.
Yeah, it was a good move again. And again, ball played outside. This time Roberts was on the inside looking to make the run. Just went a little bit too early. But this is where they found a lot of joy, Meadforest. Coming down their right side, near just below us here. I've got a lot of joy. And it's their number 15, Roberts, who is also doing well here. And I think also their number 10 on the park.
Yeah, DeAndre Walker and Jeffrey Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson said Walker, Roberts, but Robinson, yeah, Walker combining well.
Yeah, certainly that move giving Meadforest a lot of confidence. So they haven't had much of the ball, Meadforest, but when they have, they've given Mobe something to think about. But here is something to think about for Meadforest. And DeAndre Brown skipping by one, but couldn't skip by another. And this is the threat that Meadforest can possess. Jeffrey Robinson clips it back to DeAndre Walker. Those are the 2 he's been speaking about. Walker trying to pull some tricks out of the hat. And trying to find Robinson again, but height advantage not in his favor.
No, always when you put the ball in the air, it's always going to favor the defenders. And that was a good move from them, but just needed to keep that one on the turf. But yeah, you know, the attack from Montego Bay, there was something really that stood out to me with this Meadforest team in defending. We're talking about being compact, but they were quite narrow on top of the 18-yard box. Almost the width of the 6-yard box is where you found about 7 players. So it would be difficult for Montego Bay to get through. So Xavier Gilbert is going to have to think about it. Started well with his team using the flanks, but have gotten drawn into the middle of the park a lot. He's always going to try. I think one of the things he's going to have to look at is have 5 players in attack. So he has all those 5 vertical corridors occupied, wide, half space, middle, and the mirror on the other side. As we see some players,
Mount Pleasant players
We could see Phillips there, doesn't look like he's in any of the suit that they're in, so he's probably out of the squad for today, and probably using the opportunity to get some playing time to some players who have not had a lot of it at the Premier League level. And we see Montego Bay doing a little bit of that. Tajay Cooper, who is at the back, a player I spoke about that I work with at William Nib. He, is a player that was not a regular in the season, but as they qualified for the semi-finals, they used him in games leading up to the break that they would have had. So I could see some changes.
Yeah, Coach Litch Sims there, having a very animated conversation with O'Neill Morrison. Morrison, by the way, as I said, we visited the training of Meadforest yesterday. One of the real leaders of the Meadforest team, a vocal leader as well. And so, Coach Jeremiah, I'm sure you'd agree with this. The coach likes to have a coach on the pitch. He's the one who carries out the instructions of the coach on the pitch, and you see most of the instructions were going to him just now, as you can see that the referee is ready to start back play out of your television shot. Still some more instructions being blurted out by Coach Litch Sims, but we're back in play now, and Leonard Rankin, number 20, who was off the field for Montego Bay United, has rejoined the proceedings.
Yeah, you're right with that, with Meadforest. It's a situation where, as a coach, there's certain players that you get your message through. So sometimes there's the one you call and you say, yeah, I want you to do that. I remember doing it with a captain, and he said to me, Coach, I'm not the only player out here. And I said, well, you're the one that I want to get this message across. Once you say it, they will follow suit in terms of you on the park. And once you buy into it, then the others will follow as well. So definitely always have your player on the park that you get your message through. Sometimes it's difficult. On a searching ball forward, a bit speculative, but Bay United were alert to any possibility of danger. There's Timar Lewis on it now for Bay to Rankin, and Rankin to Sterling. It's Malachi Sterling. Passing that one the outside to Kimani Arboin. It's back to Rankin now. To Lewis. And it's back to Timar Lewis here in the middle of the park. It's Kimani Arboin. Brian Brown hustled off it though. A lot of Meadforest players around that area. Here's Jeffrey Robinson to DeAndre Walker. It's just the two of them. Walker cuts inside. Walker gets a shot away. It's a tame shot in the end. But again, another mini warning from the Meadforest team to the Montego Bay United team. We're not here just to roll over and die. Come Meadforest again. And nothing doing there, the referee says. The player can't just disappear. So he's tried to go straight through the player. But yeah, again, Walker and Robinson really doing well. I like that run from Robinson just now to go outside to try and create space for Walker to get the shot off. In the end, it was a tame shot. But yeah, once it gets to them, I think, they can cause problems for this Montego Bay team. And again, we saw just on the back of that play from Mobe how narrow Meadforest was. I think you said it again, a lot of players in that area. As wide as the 6-yard, is even narrow at times. It's difficult for Montego Bay once they try to go through there.
Played in by Sterling, looking for Lewis, and comes across to Brian Brown. There's a player down, by the way, for Montego Bay United. Referees asked for assistance. But again, just a threat of a lapse in concentration for Meadforest, threatening to open things up for Montego Bay United. And Mobe, though it must be said, in this first 22 minutes plus haven't been the sharpest. There's a look at a man who knows Montego Bay inside out. Coach Theodore Whitmore. Behind him, that looks like Donald Danny Beckford, president of the St. Anne FA.
Certainly is. Unmistakable figure, Dreadlock Beckford. I was talking about earlier as Xavier Gilbert having been retained or his contract renewed. There's a lot of talks too surrounding Theodore Whitmore. Many would have said Mount Pleasant should have won the league, and that's what they're there for. The good thing about it, though, is that the possibility, and I know the owner is big on wanting to dominate Caribbean football, so the fact that they're in the Caribbean Shield by virtue of finishing third will give them an opportunity to try and win that and get into the bigger scheme of things. That could just work in his favor, but certainly pressure is there. We haven't heard anything out of that camp.
Yeah, there is pressure because, of course, as you mentioned, the wanting to dominate the Caribbean, and you'd have thought that as winners of the Caribbean Cup would count for something, but having not finished in the top 2 in the Jamaica Premier League, now they'll have to play their way into the Caribbean Cup.
Yeah, so that's big. So, but the fact that they're there, maybe they'll give them time to see, and if they do go on to it, then maybe that will be the saving grace.
Well, I can tell you, Coach Jeremiah, some big news coming through from that match between Cavalier and JDF. And this looks like it is confirmed now at full time. Jamaica Defence Force FC with that 1-0 advantage over Cavalier. Looks like we've gotten to full time in that contest. And I think I can report this with some confidence. Coach Jeremiah, the first huge scalp has been taken. David has slain Goliath at Stadium East Field. And it looks like back-to-back losses for Cavalier, having lost the final of Jamaica Premier League so heartbreakingly on penalties, go crashing out of the Popeyes Challenge Cup. As we take a look at this replay here just before Coach Jeremiah comments on that particular result.
Well, many would say if there's any team that is well equipped to deal with slaying anyone, it would be the JDF. So they've gone ahead and done that against Cavalier. I mean, any team that Cavalier put out there is a big team.
As a flick on comes in, but the flag goes up though on this near side.
Yeah.
Referee's assistant saying
going
offside.
too early. But yeah, they'll be well equipped to do that. And the Cavalier found that out. And as such, that's a big one for them. And they're going to have a lot of teams with their eyes on them as well. I might have a little bit to do with it as well, because I do have a player that used to play for me at my club at Holland United, who did transfer to JDF this season because he's decided to take that on as a career and a defender. So for them to keep a clean sheet, if he was a part of it, then that would have been a good display for him as well. Codner, the name. So not sure if he was in that team today. But if not, he would be one of the biggest cheerleaders for them. But certainly a big scalp.
Well, we're going to allow you to take credit for
until it's proven otherwise.
Indeed.
If Codner was in that team.
And here come Mobay United. Yeah, I'll just show you the starting lineup, Coach Jeremiah. As you see, Meadforest here with a free kick deep in their own half. We're in the 27th minute of the contest. And Meadforest still in possession. Jeffrey Robinson doing some good work here. And to find some support. And he wins a free kick in a good position for his team. Taken down by Kimani Arboin.
Yeah, I do see him in terms of on the bench at the start. So yes, in the squad. So probably was brought on to see through, as Arteta tends to say, not substitutes but finishers. So he has starters and he has finishers. So it might have helped JDF to finish that one off, but certainly they've shown that they have the ammunition to deal with big players. We see a yellow card being shown. Not sure if it was to Hardin.
No, looks like it's to Kimani Arboin. Yeah, I don't think he can have many complaints about that. Yeah, I mean the foul I think was pretty clear, and his behavior after is probably what got him into the referee's book, and he's still chirping.
Yeah.
His teammates are trying to calm him down.
And I think you're quite right, Jordan, that maybe what he said after is what, because the referee has shown already that he's quite lenient to allow, not too quick to go to the cards. It's interesting too, you know, Odilin Arden is being employed here by Mobe as one of the two centre-backs along with Tajay Cooper. And he's normally a player that comes down that left side a lot, even when he was at Harbourview and even in his early days here at Mobe, and for the most part in the Premier League. So maybe the attackers may want to work something out there to just try and take him on that right side, because he's heavily left-footed as well.
As you see, Jeffrey Robinson there heading into the box. Obviously not the biggest forward, but has had the biggest impact on this Meadforest side in this Popeyes Challenge Cup so far. Siobhan Warren will swing this one in, trying to find a header. It's a good header on target, and the goalkeeper Marco Thompson had to pull off a save. And I mean, it's where you want it as a goalkeeper in the end, where he could get a hand to it and tip it over the bar. But again, Meadforest showing they are here to play. Warren is going to take this corner kick from the right hand side. This one is swung in again into a good area, and this time there's a foul called. I think Rankin got in between ball and man and was pushed in the back. There's Rankin. It's pushed in the back. The referee spotted it, and it's going to be a free kick to
this free
United.
kick, I think Coach Gilbert really disappointed. More so, he was targeting Devereaux McKenzie as the player who caused that ball to be headed at goal. Felt he didn't do enough, didn't get off the ground to try and challenge on that header. And number 13 for Montego Bay United, getting the ire of his coach. But yeah, Meadforest, they've pulled off save out of the custodian for Montego Bay, so they'll be encouraged by that, and Montego Bay would be now cognizant of the fact, if they weren't already, that this Meadforest team can be dangerous from open play, but also from set pieces as well.
Indeed, they can be. I think we mentioned them earlier, the duo of Jeffrey Robinson and DeAndre Walker for Meadforest, causing some problems. This one swung into the box, but nobody gets a touch on it. It goes all the way into touch, and it's going to be a goal kick for Meadforest. So, yeah, Mobe just to settle it yet again, because these last few minutes, Meadforest have looked a lot more dangerous. Mobe have lost that a little bit of that sting, and perhaps lost a little composure as well, as we saw the yellow card being handed to Arboyne, and Arboyne just been told to settle down. Here come Mobe United on the right hand side now. Something to chase for Timar Lewis. And Lewis, will he be able to keep this one in play? Assistant is right there, and now Lewis loses it. So it's going to be possession turned back over to Meadforest.
I think it's fair to say that even for this 32 minutes so far in this contest, Meadforest has given as much as they've gotten in terms of, you could say it's an even contest. Montego Bay was quickest out of the blocks and really look as if they were going to strangle this Meadforest team, but Meadforest has been very rigid defensively, narrow. As we
Flag
see
goes up this here.
Very narrow, making it difficult for Montego Bay to penetrate. I think Montego Bay started with the right approach in terms of a lot of the play going wide. Arboyne was involved a lot, and they were looking to turn this Meadforest defence around, getting them to run back towards their goal. Since then, Meadforest has dropped off a little bit, marking the wide players very well and getting very narrow as well, just atop the 18-yard box. And when I say narrow, for give you an idea, as narrow as that 6-yard, the width of that 6-yard.
So played in early from Sterling. Brian Brown takes it under his control, and now a shot comes in from DeAndre Brown. But that was a wild swing. It was a big opportunity for Montego Bay United to take the lead.
Yeah, I was about to, I would give him a pass on the first miss. He was the player that miskicked when he was trying to sweep it in goal with the right foot, and you think, okay, maybe would prefer it on the left. Well, that was on the left, and again wasn't controlled with his finish. And Montego Bay's two best chances have fallen to him as well.
Yeah, Brown there with want to call that a wild shot. You mentioned 2 best chances to DeAndre Brown. Probably from a Mobay United perspective, would have wished it would have fallen to another Brian, but it was Brian Brown who laid it off for DeAndre, and I think just need to get his head over it and control that particular shot. Here come an attack from Meadforest, and collision there leaves a Meadforest player on the turf. Referee stops the match immediately.
Yeah, it was Cooper who, you have to say, he made an error on the first header, got height but didn't get enough distance, quickly realized was a little bit too casual on that first header, but knew he needed to get that second ball, and in doing so, had to almost go through the player, but I don't think the referee was calling an infringement. Let's have a look at it again. Here's the first header. No, not much on it. Got some height, but not distance. But then he decided to go through. I mean, looked like the knee got to the player as well. So, not sure. Referee didn't look like he was going to call an infringement. Maybe it's going to be a drop ball. But on the evidence of that replay, I think he could have. A yellow card being shown to Walker. And I think that's what the coach has been saying. Just the discipline of this Meadforest team. Just to ensure, as we have a look here, let's have a look. Yeah, got really high.
Yeah. So, Walker, understandably upset about it, but talking his way into the book, coach.
I could understand that, because if I was on the receiving end, I would be disgruntled as well.
Ball played forward again. Mobay United through Malachi Sterling, and dispossessed with Sterling, wins it back. This is DeAndre Brown now, who's come all the way back. Let's play the ball all the way back to the goalkeeper, Marco Thompson, who's been called into action so far in this contest. It's a headed shot from a free kick for Meadforest a few minutes ago. And here's a chance now opening up for Montego Bay United. Cross is a disappointing one.
Really poor, really poor from him, because this is the first, one of the few times in recent time, Gibbs, Montego Bay, that's what they want to do, to get Meadforest turned around, defending, facing their goal. And they got this ball wide just now. Just needed quality, because for once Meadforest was not compact, had gaps between centre backs and wing backs. Just needed a good ball to invite a Montego Bay player to get onto the end of it. Didn't have to be accurate, just needed that cross in there.
Good work there from Jeffrey Robinson, and Meadforest back on the attack. That was Walker again trying to find Robinson. I think one thing is clear from the Meadforest team is that Coach Lidge Sims has instructed his players to essentially stay home. They have not committed massive numbers going forward, and as such we've seen DeAndre Walker and Jeffrey Robinson, the focal points of their attack. It's been basically 2 men in attack all game. They've created some chances, but they're cognizant of the Montego Bay United threat and not bringing too many players forward. Here we have it again, where Meadforest, they're outnumbered. Mobay appealing for an offside decision, none given. Here come Meadforest again. This one played down the line, comes off Malachi Sterling, and it's a throw-in to Meadforest.
I think Robinson is really a good player for Meadforest. It'll be interesting whether or not they start the next campaign as we have a look at their bench with him in their ranks, because I think with this Challenge Cup and Premier League teams having a chance to look at him, Walker, not a bad one too, they could have clubs come calling, because he's not bad in front of goal as well. His finishing not bad, but his touches in the middle of the park as well has been very good. Passing not bad. So I think in him is a decent player that I think some Premier League teams could do with as well. So, and he's up against a team here, yes, with some changes in it, but it's a team that led the league for a long period, finished 4th in the league as well. So he's up against good opposition, and being able to display that you know what, Sims, I could hear him from time to time wanting his players to calm down, but what he just displayed just now suggests to me that the players probably feed off him because the way he reacted to that call from the referee is indicative of how some of his players have reacted as well.
Mobay United, and the flag goes up. Yeah, disappointing for Mobay, I think. That attack, numbers were building. But, I mean, you've got to give credit to Coach Lidge Sims so far, because you mentioned how narrow Meadforest has defended. Brian Brown has had precious little to feed off. He did have that layoff to DeAndre Brown, who fired wildly and it ended up missing, but hasn't really been in the contest much. And they have not allowed Mobay to play through the middle of the park. They've given them the width.
Yeah, we saw it just again, where they stopped them going forward through the middle.
There Mobay United, Timar Lewis playing this one out wide. Arboin to Sterling. Sterling plays it across the face of goal. And Meadforest at 6s and 7s now comes back to Sterling. Sterling flashes it across. Still not dealt with. Mobay United still in possession. Meadforest still struggling to get it away, and this shot comes in from distance and finds the top corner. Montego Bay United breaking the deadlock through Devereaux McKenzie. The outside of the boot. Pinpoint accuracy. And the coach Xavier Gilbert barely wants to flash even remotely anything similar to a smile, but it's going to be a frown on the face of Coach Lidge Sims. Mobay United go 1-0 up.
Yeah, Devereaux McKenzie, before now, the one time that Montego Bay had some threat and the goalkeeper was called into question, he got the highway from Coach Gilbert. But I'm pretty sure all will be forgotten now. The fact that he has given them the lead. Lovely shot, lovely play off the outside of the boot, just curling into that far corner. And for the not the first time, but one of the times where Montego Bay, they get the overload out wide and they've got the cross inside. And again, even with all the work that Meadforest was doing, again the cross came in. But they had Meadforest turned around, defending with their face to goal. And that's where the problem came from, the fact that the goal came from out wide. And that shot, yeah, just the outside of the boot, Chibola. Yeah, lovely finish. Absolutely lovely finish. Always going away from Hyatt. Always going to be difficult for him to get to that one. No fault of his. Just have a look again. We could watch this over and over. Yeah, lovely, lovely contact. Lovely curl on that one. And Hyatt left clutching up tin ear. And just like that, Montego Bay United are in front.
And a nice ball played into Timar Lewis as we come back to live action. Kimani Arboin is back in possession. Sterling is swinging this one into the box with the left boot. And now Meadforest deal with it. And Meadforest trying to mount an attack of their own. Players bundled over, but Meadforest still in possession. There's DeAndre Walker. Seeing a lot of red jerseys around him, Walker. Couldn't get out that time. And Rankin wins possession, or keeps possession, for Montego Bay United. Montego Bay United now driving forward through Nashardo Gibbs. Gibbs goes down, but play continues. This one played forward, and is the flag up? No, it's not. And that shot on goal took some saving. Damian Hyatt was alert to the danger, but that's going to go down as a shot on target from Brian Brown. The Meadforest players were appealing for offside, but the referee's assistant did not agree with them. And this ball played forward again to DeAndre Brown on this left side. Brown loses possession. Jeffrey Robinson trying to latch onto it. Played back to the goalkeeper. Just displaying some calm at the back, Montego Bay United. Looks like Cooper in possession. So, ball into touch. Throw into Montego Bay United. It's going to be taken by Malachi Sterling. Sterling launches it forward, looking for Brian Brown, but DeAndre Brown is going to head it on again. Looking for Brown again. Ball bobbling around. Siobhan Warren wins it for Meadforest. Ooh. So, an attempted skillful move from Warren. Brian Brown flicks this one on for Mobay United. Here's Kimani Arboin on this left side. Arboin looking for an angle and now gets the shot away, and another shot coming in. Damien Hyatt sprawling away to his left. And happy to see that one fly wide past the post. It's Timar Lewis looking to get another one for Montego Bay United.
Yeah, I think Meadforest would be, you know, they feel a bit hard done. They've really played well. And like I said before, it had to come from the wide area. As we see the shot here from Arboin. It wasn't with the amount of power, but I had found it difficult to deal with it. So if I look from another angle, but just a slight deflection, but Lewis dragging that one wide. And you felt Lewis should have hit the target. Had he done so, more than likely Montego Bay would have been leading this contest by 2-0. But yeah, find themselves behind Meadforest. They won't stop playing. If last week against Humberland is anything to go by, they will keep pressing, keep looking, and they'll have enough evidence to suggest that they can get something against this Montego Bay United team.
Yeah, led that contest. Did Meadforest against Humberland, and Humberland came back on level pegging, and Meadforest got the decisive goal through Jeffrey Robinson. Scored a brace in that contest and had them sailing into this third round. Trying to get on the end of another one, but that was always advantage Cooper. Always had it under control, and now the referee is having a talking to Jeffrey Robinson.
Who's on a yellow card, I think. Is he? I think he got one. Yeah, I think he got one earlier when Cooper went through him for the header.
I think it was DeAndre Walker then.
Was Walker at the time?
Yeah, who argued. Was number 10 for Meadforest and was eventually booked by the referee.
Well, they've been playing together so well. Oh, there, you can excuse me for thinking it's Robinson. But they found themselves behind to a very good strike. Sometimes called Chibona or Chivola.
And here comes another opportunity for Mobay United. And it's not going to find its way into the goal this time. Meadforest with numbers back. But Mobay United can keep the pressure on. Here's Brian Brown now. Inside to Kimani Arboin. Shot from Arboin. Damien Hyatt makes the save. Leonard Rankin trying to scoop this one in. Timar Lewis looking to get on the end of it. And in the end, it was almost an own goal from Meadforest.
That was a good strike again from Arboin. That one was definitely on target. So with a good save and also parrying away from danger. We saw him earlier parrying in the part of Lewis, who didn't get his shot on target this time. Maybe with the force that shot came with, was able to parry away from danger.
The aforementioned Arboin now loses it this time, and in trying to win it back, lunged at the player. And the referee just trying to make sure things stay under control. And it's a foul against Arboin and a free kick to Meadforest. Here it is again, the shot from Arboin. Save from Damien Hyatt. And a rebound shot coming in. Hyatt alert to the danger, ensuring it stayed 1-0, and that is the halftime whistle. It is 1-0 in favor of Montego Bay United over Meadforest FC in this third round match in the Popeyes Challenge Cup. The goal scorer, that's him on screen, Devereaux McKenzie, with one from the outside of the left boot, finding the top corner. And goalkeeper Damien Hyatt was powerless on that occasion. So we're going to take a break for more coverage here, and when we come back, we will give you first half highlights and match statistics. Stay with us. Back with you soon on the Popeyes Challenge Cup 2026 live coverage here on CVM TV.
Popeyes Challenge Cup, powered by Popeyes, Lasco, Connex, Best Dressed Chicken, Red Stripe, Mackay Security.
Link. The missing link. Link virtual card. Sign up for Link from your app store. Select cards to activate your virtual card. And start shopping.
Looking for reliable ICT technical support in the Caribbean? Look no further than Connex. Stay connected with your loved ones and businesses, no matter where you are in paradise. Connex keeps you connected. Upgrade your network and embrace solar energy for your schools and businesses. Connex ensures seamless connectivity and sustainability. Connex, your trusted partner for telecom networking, software development, and solar installations. We design, install, connect, we deliver.
Welcome back to Drax Hall Sports Complex in this Popeyes Challenge Cup match between Montego Bay United and Meadforest. Montego Bay United leading by 1-0, courtesy of Devereaux McKenzie. And we're going to be looking at the highlights from the first half. So here we are. It was Mobay United on the attack very early. Brian Brown, one of the danger men for Mobay United. That was a pass to DeAndre Brown. It was a great opportunity for a goal, but missed it with the right boot. Rolled onto the left boot, incidentally. Couldn't get it on target. This one just worried goalkeeper Damian Hyatt. In goal for Meadforest. Meadforest did have a few moments of their own. DeAndre Walker got the shot away there, tame in the end. And Marco Thompson with a very elementary save there. This one was a more difficult save for Marco Thompson. And it was a good cross that came in. Header was on target. This was a very big chance for Mobay United. Brian Brown chesting it down and playing the ball into the path of DeAndre Brown, who just swung wildly at it with the left boot. And it ended up well wide in the end. They thought they should have been 1-0 up at that point. Malachi Sterling then flashed one across the box, and when Meadforest failed to deal with it, it came back across, and still they failed to deal with it. And you'll see Meadforest with a number of opportunities to clear before it came out to Devereaux McKenzie, who expertly placed it in the top corner to give Montego Bay United the lead. Here's another look at it. Yeah, Meadforest really with no one to blame but themselves, and then leaving the goal gaping. It was a despairing dive from goalkeeper Damian Hyatt, but nothing he could do about that one. The placement, immaculate. 1-0, Montego Bay United. So Devereaux McKenzie with a smile there on his face, and rightly so. That was a neat finish to give his team the lead. Mobay kept coming forward. Kimani Arboyne had a few moments late in the first half. This one though too close to the goalkeeper, and a follow-up shot from Timar Lewis ending up wide of the target. There was a shot from Arboin and the follow-up from the left boot of Lewis going wide of goalkeeper Damien Hyatt's goal, and then Arboin again calling goalkeeper Hyatt into the play, and Hyatt had to make a double save. Alright, here are the statistics from the first half. Of course, Mabay have the all-important statistic, 1-0. 9 shots to Meadforest 2. 4 on target for Mabay. Just a couple of corners, one for either side. We're saying 50-50 for the possession. 14 fouls. There were quite a few moments of physical altercations in that first half. A card each. No red cards. A couple of offsides for Meadforest and one for Mabay United. Kimani O'Sullivan is standing by. Kimani, who do you have for us?
All right, thank you, Jordan. I found 2 former Meadforest players. One might look very familiar. This is Dale Reed and, of course, Waterhouse striker Javane Bryan. Gentlemen, you're here at the Popeyes Challenge Cup in St. Anne. As a former Meadforest man, Javane, let me start with you. Former golden boot in the Premier League. What do you think about your former club thus far?
Well, as you can see, they are playing pretty much well. So, by the day goes by, we just have to continue watch the game and hope for the best for them.
What role did Meadforest play in shaping your career? You used to represent them, of course. You probably still have a soft spot in your heart for them, of course.
Well, I played like 3 years for them. I played 3 seasons for Meadforest. I also won a golden boot in that league just as well. And my last season with them, it was a pretty much one for me, even though we didn't make it to the Premier League when I was leaving, but they are very much a pretty good team.
All right, thank you, Javane. And of course, Dale, you used to represent Meadforest as well. How good does it feel to see them fighting for silverware against a team like Montego Bay United?
I mean, it's a good feeling and they're doing well, so I'm really happy and I'm enjoying the game.
Yeah, both you, yourself and Javane, you made the trip here. Of course, you're supporting your former team, but what do you think they need to fix in the game?
I mean, they just need to play a little faster. They're doing excellent, so due the game, they're going to do good.
All right, thank you, Dale. Give me a scoreline prediction before you go.
3-1 Meadforest.
3-1 Meadforest. He says the comeback is on, but of course, you've heard from the fans, but we have to speak to our beloved sponsors because without them, there'll be no Popeyes Challenge Cup. One such sponsor is Connex, and I'm here with none other than Troy Chambers. He's in service delivery, and he's going to tell us about Connex's role in the competition thus far. The Premier League team is in Troy. Yes. They're playing against a lower tier team, but you can see it's not much to separate them thus far. Yeah. How good does it feel that Connex can be a part of an initiative like this where the top tier teams can play against the lower tier teams?
It's good. It gives us a chance to, be involved, right, in the competition. It also gives us as a brand, to get out there as well.
Yeah, and Connex plays a great role in offering various service solutions to Jamaica. Just talk to us about what Connex offers for our viewers at home, and also you have a booth here, of course, so persons can pass by your booth. Just tell us a little bit more about what Connex offers.
Okay, so Connex has been around for 20 plus years. We offer a plethora of services such as solar, network building, right? We offer event solutions, right, and smart home solutions. So basically the event solutions is that we built out a network for seamless transitions, seamless operations for all the technology partners involved, right? For the solar speak for itself. We offer solar for both residential and commercial customers, right? For smart home solutions, the same thing applies, both residential, both commercial customers as well.
Yeah, Troy, I love my football and I love to watch it reliably on TV. Just give some word to somebody out there who thinks they might not maybe want to go into Connex, or maybe they should. Just convince somebody right now on live TV why they should switch to Connex.
If you want to work hard, if you want to build a future, come to Connex. Simple as that. We have the expertise, we have the infrastructure, and we are just ready to work.
Well, you heard it here from Troy Chambers. He's in service delivery at Connex. We have more football. Stick around. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
is everything you need to support your family's nutrition. Have it at home or take it with you every day for all-day energy. Lasco Food Drink has your favorite flavors, including low-sugar options, so you sacrifice nothing. Packed with protein, calcium, vitamins, minerals, including iron. Lasco Food Drink is the winning taste and nutrition for your family. Nutrition never tasted so good.
Also try Lascola Soy as a lactose-free alternative.
What is love? Love is when my uncle gave me the money to help start my shop. My auntie and I made her famous recipe even more delicious. And it starts with the best dressed chicken and a little extra love. No, my shop is famous to the people that matter the most to me, my community. So I only serve the best dressed chicken. Raised without antibiotics, it's only the best for my customers. If anyone's going to add something to my best dressed chicken, it's going to be me. Only the best can be called the best dressed chicken.
Watagwan. Watagwan.
Datagwan.
Watagwan. Watagwan.
Watagwan. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m., 1:30 p.m., and 10 p.m. on CVM TV.
Datagwan for Watagwan. Popeyes Challenge Cup, powered by Popeyes, Lasco, Connex, Best Dressed Chicken, Red Stripe, Mackay Security.
Welcome back here to the Drax Hall Sports Complex. Second half action loading between Meadforest and Montego Bay United in the Popeyes Challenge Cup. Montego Bay United leading by a 1-0, courtesy of a strike from Devereaux McKenzie. It was a strike to behold as well. And Montego Bay United making a change at halftime. See the introduction there of Carlando Morris, that's him on screen. Part of the national under-17 setup. And he's replacing Kimani Arboin. So Arboin out and Morris in. Understandably, Arboin was also on a yellow card. So Coach Gilbert there making that change at halftime. So as we see Meadforest in possession here through Siobhan Warren, it would be interesting to have heard what either team talk was about Coach Dwight Jeremiah. But I'm sure as a coach yourself, you can imagine what it would have been from Meadforest and what it would have been from Montego Bay United.
I think for Montego Bay United, certainly Xavier Gilbert would be saying to his team, we've got to use the width of the pitch a lot more. We've got to get numbers in the attacking third, 5 to be specific or more, and just occupy those vertical zones, get this Meadforest team to turn around, get the crosses in the box, and just get them to panic a bit, because every time we do that, then we create chances and looking like we're going to score every time. We're trying to go through the middle is going to be difficult. Meadforest will definitely try to prevent them doing that, to remain compact, narrow as much as they possibly can. But in this situation, they had to add something more, which is the attacking part of the field. I just feel like they haven't committed a lot, and you alluded to it in that Walker and Robinson are the two players that they've left up for the majority of the game in terms of their attack. And that will work a lot in transitional play. But in organized attack, they're going to have to commit more players to give depth and width to their attack.
Let's see if We will see any evidence of that in this second half. Coach Lich Sims a lot happier when this contest was 0-0 and saw his side create a few moments of their own that they could have scored from. So you see Timar Lewis running across to take up this ball for this free kick for Mobay United. It's like it's going to be Rankin, or Rankin spots the ball. So Mobay committing numbers forward. Swan played forward and Rankin clips it over to the left-hand side. Ball comes back to Brian Brown. Brown looking to find an angle, but in the end, referee going to say last touch of Montego Bay United. Goal kick to Meadforest.
It was good defending from Meadforest. Montego Bay, they initially went wide, then looked to play that drop pass, but Brian Brown was really well marshalled.
So Mobay, they'll be patient here.
They can afford to be, I guess.
Some space opening up here for Malachi Sterling. Ball played back into Sterling, but yeah, loose touch. Turns possession back over to Meadforest. Meadforest trying to drive out of defense now. And here's a run being made.
And we saw just evidence of it now with Meadforest really good in carrying the ball out, a player carrying it, but he needed options out wide. Didn't get it, had to go back, and afforded Montego Bay United the time to get back in an organized shape.
Oh, that one, Siobhan Warren losing out to Timar Lewis. Lewis looking for options now in the box. It's going to come back to the top of the box, and Rankin can't control it. And it's a free kick to Meadforest. The referee is not going to allow the free kick to be taken from there.
And part of the thing too with Meadforest, and you alluded again, Jordan, to it earlier, that as I said, they didn't commit a lot of players in the attacking third in that first half. And maybe it's not just easy sometimes for players to just make that, like flip that switch and just start going forward. So we saw it in the...
Here's Gibbs.
Yeah. So we saw it in the play when they were coming out, the last transitional play from them. They just didn't have the numbers breaking out from the back to play that ball wide. And that's because they've been in that mode, defensive mode, for far too long.
Here they are trying to switch to the attacking mode. Meadforest, ball played on the right-hand side. Jeffrey Robinson looking for a run, but well defended by Montego Bay United. Robinson harrying the defender. Robinson showing some strength, and in the end though had to foul the player to get the ball. I
think Robinson did really well to win that ball. It was a good call from the referee, I felt. The replay, let's look if he tugged his shirt here. Could see him holding on to, and once Robinson got the wrong side of him, which is goal side for him, then you could see the holding on to the shirt. So I think that was a really good call.
Good spot by the referee. So Robinson, a second or third time we've seen him win a good free kick for his team in a situation that looked like that all was lost for Meadforest. Mobay have to be on guard here. A 1-0 lead is by no means safe in football. Ball comes back out to the top of the box. Player goes down. Referee says play on. Player still down for Meadforest. Ball still bobbling around here. Meadforest still in possession. Comes out to Warren. And now the referee decides to stop it so the player can get some attention. That is Walker again who's on the turf.
Well, you know what? The coach is saying, we had the ball, we have the option to play it out or not. Referee not obligated to stop it. But I guess because Meadforest is in possession, he's deciding, you know, I'll stop it now because they'll get back the ball. But they were in a very good position as well, and would have preferred the referee to allow them to play. But the referee felt that the time that the player had stayed on the turf wasn't moving a lot, which suggests he might have been seriously injured. But we'll see how quickly he gets back to his feet. He wasn't rolling about, Jordan. A lot of times when we see players rolling about, as an indication that he's not serious because they have enough energy to be rolling about. But if you see them not moving a lot or just very stationary, then that might be cause for concern. So we're going to have a look back at the goal. But yeah, it was a lovely pick out. They call it the Trivela. They say sometimes it's spelled as the Tribona. But yeah, the outside of the boot, which causes the ball, hit it with the outside of the instep there, that causes the ball to curl away. And that's why Hyatt couldn't reach to it. Full stretch. A lovely picture of the goalkeeper at full stretch, but never get into that one. Clutching that tin ear.
Yeah, in a game which has been otherwise a good game for Damien Hyatt, who's pulled off some good saves. He's blameless there, though. There's nothing he could do about that particular shot from Devereaux McKenzie. And, you know, I think he'll have his defenders to blame. There were maybe 2 or 3 at least opportunities for Meadforest to clear their lines from that attack, and they just failed to do so.
And they didn't clear the line with the ball, nor on that occasion clear the line physically enough to get to somebody too close to McKenzie to close that one down, because just had to hurry the attacker, but they gave him time to get it out from under his feet and execute to perfection that technique. Not an easy one. Not an easy one at all. A lot of players will try it. As I say, they call it the Tribona, but by rightly so, it's Trivela. They say Trivela. That type of pass in football.
Comes across, swung in from Meadforest, the far side, but not finding the target. And now Brian Brown can turn and play this one out to Nashardo Gibbs, and back into Brown. And this flag is going to go up on the far side. So as the ball rolls into the net, the flag was already up, and it's offside. Free kick to Meadforest.
Yeah, Ajay Duane, the first assistant on this side, sharp FIFA official. One of the officials that at one point we felt did well enough to probably be up among the contingents for the World Cup. The fact that it is in this region, in the end, only one Jamaican official has been called up for duties at that big showpiece, football's biggest showpiece.
Meadforest trying to make it to the showpiece of the Popeyes Challenge Cup, the final on June 9. And here is an attack that could yield something for them. Ball deflected from that cross, and it's going to be a Meadforest throw. So something to give the Mobe United defense to think about, but a poor throw-in turns possession back over to Mobe. Just temporarily, though. Meadforest back with it. They're appealing for a free kick there. Mobe win it back. And Meadforest again. Player, as the ball came to him, got a chorus of shouts from the bench. Man on, man on.
Yeah, and he took his eye off it to see where the man was. Just miscontrolled. But Meadforest will feel like they're still in this one. And quite rightly so as well.
Justin Powell taking that throw in for Meadforest.
Really like the close control skills of Walker and Robinson at times.
That time, though, bundled over Robinson, but Mobe winning possession back.